Hey guys, my name's Monsel and I'm with Nootropedia, and today we're going to review Nootrobox, which is one of the most famous, most well-known nootropics companies. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about their products and analyze whether it's worthwhile for you later on. At the end, I'm going to show you that 50% of the products are hype in my judgment and 50% are pretty good quality products. But before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about what makes Nootrobox unique as a company. So unlike a lot of other nootropics companies, Nootrobox is actually venture-backed by Andreessen Horowitz, which, if you're not familiar, is one of the most prestigious venture capital firms. They invested in Facebook, Airbnb, a bunch of others. Now this is kind of a problem for me. Even though it makes sure that we can trust their brand a lot more, it does mean that many of their products are going to have great marketing, a lot of people backing it, and that often leads to hype. So before I get into the actual products, I do want to say that I believe Nootrobox bringing nootropics into the mainstream is a really positive thing. There's a lot of people who might have tried nootropics in the past, but they needed a company that had some credibility, and I do believe that Nootrobox is making it accessible for many people. Now Nootrobox has some other benefits too, and at the end of this video I'm going to talk more about those benefits. But for right now, let's look at the 5 major products that Nootrobox sells. Number 1 is Rise, which is their main cognitive enhancing stack, and it includes 300 milligrams of rhodiola rosea, 300 milligrams of bacopa monnieri, and 300 milligrams of alpha GPC. Now this is one of those products that I am 100% behind. It is a product with many ingredients that have a lot of prior research, and it's also adequate doses, which is something that's not really common amongst these popular unique blends. So number 2 is Keto 3, and this is a DHA EPA product, primarily omega-3 fatty acids, and I do believe it's a great feature that Nootrobox focuses 25% of their stack on DHA and EPA, but unfortunately it falls short, in my opinion, in terms of the doses, and it does have some extraneous added elements like vitamin K that I don't really believe are all that important if you don't have adequate doses of DHA and EPA. And number 3 is Sprint, and Sprint is a relatively common nootropic combination of caffeine and L-theanine with a few other ingredients. Now those 2 ingredients have a ton of research, a ton of scientific evidence behind them. As far as nootropics are concerned, it's really one of the most well-researched combinations. So I do believe Sprint is great, but again, it might be a little bit overpriced considering it's a very common stack. Now option number 4 is Yawn, and this is a sleep product, but I unfortunately find that it falls short. The magnesium that they incorporate into this product is citrate, which is not a great source of magnesium. If you're gonna buy magnesium, I really suggest you go with magnesium glycinate, or secondary, maybe malate, and of course L-threonate is a great magnesium option for cognitive health, but again, for sleep you want glycinate. Now many of the other ingredients are either not the right doses or not really that useful for sleep aids, so for my judgment, Yawn doesn't make the cut. I do think that you can find either other products for sleep or just get your own stack. But I do want to make it clear again that all of these stacks are pre-made for you. That convenience factor might be something that you're looking for. Now I know a lot of you guys are thinking, why can't you just make Nootrobox products yourself? And in fact you can. So with Rise, the product has 3 ingredients, 300 milligrams each. It costs about 78 cents per serving if you want to create the Nootrobox Rise product for yourself. If you want to buy it straight from Nootrobox, it's $1.63. So you're looking at about 90 cents per serving simply to buy from Nootrobox. Now for some of you that might be worth it. If you're working in Silicon Valley, you're a high performance individual, it might be worth it to you. But if you are someone who wants to try to make things yourself, you could go that route. So guys, I know it sounds like I'm being highly critical of Nootrobox, and I do believe for the consumer, 50% of the products, at least up to my standards, don't really fit. But that doesn't mean Nootrobox doesn't have its merits. First of all, they have certificates of analysis on all of their products. Now, I don't know whether it's third-party testing or in-house. The fact that they do the testing shows that they are very careful with the ingredients and making sure that it's the right product. So it is going to be a little bit safer than some of the other stacks that have no third-party testing whatsoever. So number 2 is they have transparent doses. A lot of nootropics companies have proprietary blends. Although I do believe that trend is changing, Nootrobox is one at the forefront, giving you the doses to try yourself, to analyze yourself, see whether it's worth it, and that does make a big difference. Of course, number 3 is adequate doses. Not only do they give you the doses, but most of the ingredients have a fair amount of the active ingredient. If you're looking at the Rise products, like I said, it's got plenty of alpha GPC, a good amount of rhodiola, and Bacopa monnieri, so they are doing an adequate job of dosing their products, whereas a lot of companies decide to fairy dust or sprinkle in ingredients in order to claim the benefits, but they don't actually have nearly enough in order to do much. So the final thing that Nootrobox is working on that I'm excited about are clinical trials. Now Nootrobox is a company like any other, and they are invested in positive clinical trials, and that's why they're using predominantly Sprint, which is a already very well researched combination of caffeine and L-theanine, but nonetheless it does show their willingness to look at science, look at the data, and prove their products are worthwhile. So guys, just to recap, I do believe that many of the products that Nootrobox sells aren't necessarily worth the money, but they may be useful for you if you are in a pinch. There's plenty of benefits of using Nootrobox products. They've got a pretty solid brand. I'm personally friends with Jeffrey Wu, the CEO, and he invited me into the Nootrobox headquarters in San Francisco. We talked a little bit about what they've got on the horizon, what Nootrobox is going to be providing in the future. I do think it's cool stuff. I do want to encourage you to keep an eye out for what they're producing, but just keep in mind that these products are very mainstream and they may not necessarily be for you if you want something really, really impactful. Anyway guys, that's it. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions about nootropics, please go ahead, leave them in the comments below. And if you want a full article with way more information, go ahead and click the link right here. You'll be taken to the Nootropedia blog post. I'll see you guys next time.